Welcome back here on Saturday. The rain continued a little bit last night, but Keith, we had our biggest price of the day yesterday was 22.20 Italian dressing. You had that one underneath for Hammy Smith and Angel Cruz right away. I think it kicked off the early. No, it was race 3. Excuse me.
I'm depressed.
You
Depressed.
had a rough day yesterday.
Well, no, we did all right. We were around it a
Okay.
lot, had some exacta boxes and stuff. But
Yep.
going back to that early pick 4, like I said, I had Italian dressing in there. It was a bad structure of the ticket. I apologize. It paid $1,300. We had obviously Liquidator in there, who was a $12 winner. But maybe you kind of took my picks and
And we
mixed,
talked about-
mixed
we
and matched a little bit, and you hit it. But you did not want to leave that one. I had to dirty up form off of that little trouble trip last time, a little gallop around after some trouble around the turn. But maybe you had a 1,300. Yeah, late pick 5, 2,400. So the prices they still kind of keep on coming.
Listen,
at,
you
Laurel
still
Park.
you still had something to offer, so
Oh, yeah.
don't be beating yourself up too much. And you did give everybody a warning to maybe restructure it a little bit in a certain way. So you did give your warning, but regardless, today's a new day. Today's
Yes.
Saturday. Let's take a look at how things are looking. Of course, things have dried up a little bit. We get a nice harrow track here today. Things started. It was just misty all day yesterday, and the sun has come out.
I would have lost another wager because I would have predicted this track would have been sloppy today. The rain that hit last night north of here near me was like a summer storm. It was brutal.
Wow.
So, I was shocked that, looked to see, get the call this morning, called and got some scratch. And they said, hey, yeah, track's going to be between good and fast. I'm like, wow. Look at it. Yeah, and the breeze is coming. We're going to have to deal with that. We've got some winds gusting up to 20, 25 miles an hour. But other than that, we're blessed with a little beautiful day today.
And let's see how that day starts off with the early pick 5, of course. And it starts in this first race in this claiming 8,000 for 4 years old and upward, going a mile and an eighth on the dirt. Scratches in the 1A, 1, 3, 5, and 6. Let's talk about Misty Link, who now has inherited the rail for Jamie. Actually, previous to the 1 and 1A, was on the rail position already for Jamie Ness and Jamie Rodriguez.
Yeah. Real quick, it's his race to lose. I mean, you're looking at Arrow One, who showed a little flash of speed, too, back. Lost my voucher in there. Likes to settle. Mystic Link has numbers on the page that kind of are clearly going to beat this field. He comes anywhere close to his best. Ness Barn has been steady as she goes of late. No hiccups out of the gate. It looks like Rodriguez, who had a couple winners yesterday, goes ahead and controls it in the opener. That's all we got. 247, you're 274.
Knocking on the door
All
for
right.
3 wins yesterday was Jamie Rodriguez. He had 2 yesterday, but was pretty close to making it 3 on a couple of times. Race number 2 kicks off the early pick 4, of course, Keith. You've got that ticket lined up. Let's see how it's looking today.
Yeah, okay. Race 2, scratch the 2, Mr. Mosley, who was definitely looked like he was going to be a little bit of a hindrance to the 3, Aristocat up front. That's a clear break for the 3. It will be a favorite, I believe, in race 2 for Farrier. But I'm still not completely sold. Comes back, short rest. Yes, Farrier's got some good records with that. Might have been predominantly in Charleston. I should have looked at that a little closer. 1, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to whittle it down a little bit. Race 3, Caliber could go 7, 8. Expect Lucky. Looks like an all or nothing type to me off the break. Race 4. 3 and 6, key scratch out of there. Hot and Spicy Love. See, now was an earlier scratch. Both Kieran McGee runners are out of race 4. They both were going to take some play. Clearly, Hot and Spicy Love was going to be the fave. Another day for that one. So 3 and 6 there. Race 5, 6, 8, 9. Water Witch comes north for Ricky Silliman. Nibbles might offer a little bit of value. I was hoping a little moisture would stay in the track to pick that one's head back up. But she could possibly be controlling speed for Rudy Sanchez, Salomon, and Barbosa. There's your ticket, $24.
And it starts in this claiming 16, which have never won 3 for the 4-year-olds and up, going the 1-turn mile here around the dirt. Keith, let's go ahead and just chuck right into Majestic Frontiers race back from January 29th and just take a look at this break.
Yeah, and again, draws the rail today. This was off a little bit of a break from November 25th to January 29th. Just a little awkward beginning. And actually has to kind of get nudged on a little bit to get into contention. You don't want to lose a spot there either and get blocked. So X-Man is able to get this one kind of in position within range inside, then a little steady. Has to wait a little bit around the turn where the eventual winner, Ghost Lighter, is basically full flight in the clear, just setting sail. He's had everything his own way, and Ghost Lighter, when he gets asked, he responds. But a lot of credit here to Majestic Frontier. I thought finished quite well. My short comment is gamely. Took a lot of play in there. He's going to take a lot of play today. Has to break a little bit better. Maybe a little bit more aggressive around the turn too. You don't want Aristocat to get too far away. He's been mired in a 14 race streak. He hasn't won, winless streak. So maybe he can kind of get back his winning ways today. Yeah, thanks for the stat. Here we go. Jerry Robb, last 3 years though, he's 4 for 8, 50%. These dirt routes, second off of a break of 60 to 180 days. Cali ROI is 328. It's good. Maybe Divine Lawn, remembering Wilbur, kind of put a little pressure. I'd like to see the 5 rate though, because I think that was his downfall last time.
Agreed.
After that beginning, the trouble to break, but then rushing early.
Yes.
He's going to have to be nursed along to get this mile distance.
He will be, but I think he's the right horse to do it. The 7 furlong indicator for Divine Law back in the 20th of November, I thought that was a good tick, and especially the breaking the maiden at the 7 furlongs. I think, and of course, you have to scratch out that 1-turn mile effort. Had an issue at the gate right off the get-go, but yes, wasn't set up for success last time out there going shorter. So I think this one's going to appreciate the distance here today.
Yeah, remember Wilbur, it came back. Remember we talked about this when we had it at 9-2 off the break, was protected. Tried to go ahead to Charlestown. Something went amiss there. I'll throw that. And holds for 16. Okay, still a little bit of a protect move on a horse that, has shown a little bit of ability. Gotten to 7/8. Why can't he get a mile? So I'm not completely sold on the 3, but got a great ride last time. The barn doing well. Aristocat we're talking about. He's going to be the one to beat. I think the road's going to go through him. 1-3-5-4. Try to get a little bit better price.
Race number 3 is a maiden claiming 20, going 6 furlongs on the dirt for the straight 3-year-olds. Keith, you and I both have Expect Lucky on top, and this is with Mikey Juralis. First off the layoff, blinkers off, J-Ron Barbosa on, gets the outside. A lot to like here.
Yeah, capable barn, drops down, aggressive move off the break. I think you're either going to see a really good effort or not so good at all. That's just my take on this horse. Bred to be okay. The family is there. Karen, a really good sprinter, really, really good around here. But that debut took play. There were some good other horses in there. Landon Jack, Pride of Peyton, faced the right kind. Collect Redemption going to take a slew of play in here. Going to be an awfully short price, and maybe rightly so. But that quick drop kind of got me. Okay, showing that ability those first couple races, then in for 24, still sketchy. Ran good last time, broke to the front, set a rated pace, took some pressure, and gave way grudgingly. He'll probably pop to the front again against this group. It's going to be his race to lose, I would think. But let's hope this horse, Expect Lucky, the 8, is ready to roll from the outside.
Let's see how that happens. 8-7-1-6 for Keith Fustel in that 6 furlong affair. Race number 4 starts the Rainbow Pick 6. We have a carryover going on that continued from yesterday. That's about just a tick over 72,000. That's going to be climbing a little bit higher once we get to race number 4. Where that starts, of course, I've got a ticket structure for you guys. Not quite an El Cheapo. Enough of an El Cheapo. At first I singled in this opener, but I just decided might as well back things up with Camp Pendleton underneath. Race number 5 starts to get competitive. I raise my eyebrows up at the 6, 8, and 9 with the 9 also being my top selection, your top selection as well, Keith, and Water Witch. We're going to get a video on this one later today. Race number 6, 4 wide in that starter optional 20. And then race number 7 is an allowance optional claiming 62.5, going short on the dirt. I go 3-4-6 with the number 6 Lost Weekend. I'm taking another stab at Lost Weekend, just giving him one more chance. And then my single, HP Moon, why not? Obvious go-to, but I know you're going to have something to say about that with your best bet, and I'm looking forward to that. And then race number 9, Miss Maisel and Paris, Kentucky in that nightcap for a $28.80 ticket. I think it's a pretty solid structure for today, and hopefully that helps me out a little bit.
Hey, and going to the 4th race, I know we've got the scratch of the 1 and the scratch of the 5. We had a video of the 5. Do we still have that video? Can we show it? Because a bunch of horses come out of that race. If you don't have it, it's no big deal. So if we get it, great. But I go 3-6, you go 6-3. All these horses comes out of the race on the 10th of February now. Camp Pendleton, I think he had kind of the worst of it. I mean, I know he didn't have the steadying of Akati's Verve in mid-stretch, but again, he's even hampered by 2 wide trips. And I think you're going to see a little bit more positional speed from Camp Pendleton today, saving some ground, which is going to enhance that run with Alvelo.
And we do have that video
Cool,
that
let's
was
show it.
Hot and Spicy Love is going to be highlighted, but just keep in mind, Hot
That's
and
fine.
Spicy Love, the horse is circled right now. That's a scratch. But Keith, take it away.
Yeah, I think maybe the horse, Camp Pendleton, is outside the 7 horse this particular day, running about, 5th now, trying to make that wide move, about 4 wide. Now, Akati's Verve is the 3 horse this particular afternoon. Gets through along the inside, fan wide, Camp Pendleton 5 and 6 wide. This day was pretty good for closers.
It was.
The 10th, the closers were pretty good on this day. Now, he kind of starts making, it looks like he's going to work through this seam. Hot and Spicy Love, too good. But then a little bit of trouble. Steady there. Akati's Verve wasn't quite accelerating, like the winner, but still trying and giving effort. So
Right, absolutely.
He works here, as does Campo Pendleton, who ends up kind of dropping down a little bit. I think the 3 still might have a little bit more tactical advantage. We'll see. Riders race short field here in the 4, 3, 6, 6-3.
Well worded, Keith, there for that shorter field in the start of the Rainbow Pick 6. Race number 5 is a claiming 10,000 for the girls 4 years old and upward, which have never won 2. And this is going around 1 mile and 16th around the dirt, scratching the 5, HOV lane 7, Semeritis, and the number 10, Red Wine Time. Keith, you and I both land on Waterwitch. Let's take a look at Waterwitch back at the first in Tampa Bay, going into this first turn, and then we're going to get a cut into the wire.
Like a Tampa Bay, right? The old announcer, Tampa Bay, Richard Grunder. But yeah, Waterwitch caught wide around the first turn on January the 1st, and this is what turned out to be a pretty good race, a key race. 3 next out winners. That's the key for me. The buyer figure, that 59 is solid comparatively to this group. Tora Bronca's kind of run up in that lower 60 ranks. But I tell you, you've got Silliman coming north, Laurel Glass, a very good combination, right?
Right.
And it's going to be able to kind of make that progression up to it. It just steadily grinds it out. A mile and 16th, not going to be an issue. Want to see this maybe a little bit closer today than early on, but
yeah, sure.
Still a good effort.
Yeah, you definitely want to see this one moved up a little bit more forward in the field, and that's just going to be an indication. I think inherited a wide berth around there, and then the jock didn't want to do too much work for him on the backside, try to just save this horse as much as he could. To do all of that work up front, I don't think we're going to have a problem at all with that today, but as long as you use that voice every time we play a Tampa Bay replay, that I'll be definitely okay with that. Of course, you and I both have nibbles underneath Tora Bronca. I like what I'm seeing here as far as our lineup of picks that I'm seeing similar to you. We talked about Tora Bronca for Hammy Smith, Jamie Rodriguez. Hammy Smith having a nice pricey winner yesterday. Not going to get so lucky today, 9-2. I'm sure that's going to come down a little bit. But again, it's a race of horses that are coming from behind, and this is where I see Nibbles getting a little bit of advantage. Now, you mentioned you wish that there was a bit more moisture in the track. I think with this track today, it's good. It's going to dry up, but we still have a little bit of wind going on. Might keep a little bit of that moisture in there, so we'll see. That's kind of what I'm crossing my fingers for with Nibbles.
Yeah, her form's just kind of tailed off a little bit, but you see the short comment last time in the form of your track program, extended battle inside. I don't know if she's going to have to go through that much early today. I know bad temper, maybe C2, but her positioning outside, maybe she'll just sit perched 3 deep. I think she'll like the flow that's going to happen today, and it'll carry her a little further, no doubt, here for Rudy Sanchez-Salaman. Tora Bronca was just late last time. I thought she was sitting in a good spot, just got going way too late, but the barn, they are rocking and rolling. Hammy Smith. So we'll see.
We'll keep
Nibbles going to get the jump on those 2 horses, so I can tell you that.
Nibbles is a turf filly through and through.
Okay.
So she's doing well in the wintertime. She's doing well despite the fact that I don't think she's too much of a dirt horse, clearly. I do like her. I like this filly on the turf a lot better. But we'll keep rocking and rolling for the rest of this card after this commercial break.
And they're off.
And we start back things up again in this starter optional, claiming 20,000, going 6 furlongs on the dirt for the 4-year-olds and up. I always trip up on that. Scratching the 7, Romer, scratching the 8, Money Ride. Let's take a look at Big Man Can, back from February 11th, just from that mid-turn to the wire.
Yeah, I mean, just put it all together. A really good ride by Arojo. This horse broke, I think, right up near the lead. And he said, you know what? We're just going to let you do your own thing. We're going to settle into stride. We're not going to rush you too soon. Let that battle kind of go on up front. And watch this. You see they got patient angling, 5-6 wide here, upper stretch. And when he levels off and just rolls right on by. Going to win by a length and 3/4. A little tap there to keep him interested. Here we go again with the left stick. But I thought he had even something left in the tank when he goes on by. He just
definitely
looks relaxed.
Yes.
And just ready to kind of look at him.
Dennis is pulling him up.
Yeah,
that's
ready,
great.
ready to keep going. And he comes back off the claim for a barn that's been lethal year in and year out, off the claim, and catches the flow that he likes to see. So
Absolutely.
Bigger field, a little bit more traffic maybe to deal with today. But again, taking back early, setting his sights on what looks to be a contested pace.
I like your exacta pick, and Charge to Victory for Carlos Mencia gets Xavier Perez today. I thought it was still a nice enough ride last time out. Maybe actually definitely used a bit early on.
Yep.
But if you look at this horse's form, I'm coming to Angel Cruz's defense a little bit, where you're looking at this horse's form, and this horse is a bit of a need the lead type. Didn't get the most graceful break, just a little bit of a shuffling under his feet, under himself underneath, but then still rushed up ahead, and that's what ultimately causes downfall.
Yeah, and like I say, he needs to break a little bit better today. He's third off the break. I think he'll draft into a perfect position, because I think Aristocratic, he's going to maybe from the rail, his hand might be forced to go ahead and go. He's pretty quick, free dancer. Rominsky, the list goes on and on. Ralph Cairo. So there is plenty of speed. But I think the X-Man will be able to kind of let them go a little bit, draft into maybe the 3/8, and hopefully get a position on or near the rail to sit and then watch. And that'll let those other horses carry him a little bit. And when he finds a seam, I think he'll bring a run. Cruz, maybe just a hair early last time. We might have been a little tough on him, used on the turn.
Yeah, agreed. Talk about fourth for Mario Saray Jr., Richard Monterey. I thought I was going to get sneaky with this one underneath, but a nice effort, 7 furlongs at that starter optional level, coming from off of the pace. But what I like is that we just have such a variety. This one, it went to the lead and gunned for the lead, charged and challenged for the lead too back early on, but then really relaxed that next time out when bumping up in class a little bit, and just took it to a little bit of a next level. A nice, exciting finish for us.
Yeah, an aggressive move, right back for 16 off of a lifetime best number. You see, again, weighted turn. This horse was locked and loaded behind the speed, shifted out upper stretch and rolled on by. Went to the left lead late and was pulled up soon after the race. Didn't really allow this one to gallop out. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of, I should maybe use that term, but was quicker to get.
It wasn't as dramatic as you just said.
Correct. Right. And that was my only kicker. And then back for the 16. So horse got a state bred condition. Little aggressive move here by Saray. But man, he was set like he was loaded like a powder keg last time out, and found that seam top of the stretch and rolled home. Again, if he runs like that with the flow that's going to be in front of him, he's going to be tough to beat.
Race number 7 is an allowance optional, claiming 62.5, going 5.5 on the dirt for the straight 3-year-olds. Keith, you've got the number 7 on top, Indy Bound. And let's take a look at Indy Bound when he was here at Laurel back in November from the quarter pole onwards.
Yeah, this was the third start. Waved the tag here for the 45, waved it though, and got a good spot, just off some speed, a landing jack. I tell you, this horse moves up into contention and is gritty to the wire here late. This barn, really doing well the last 30 days. I have a stat, I think, down the road for this one, but I mean, it's high percentage, good ROI. We saw this horse come off the break the other day that I thought was going to run better on an off track, got the fast track.
Right.
That horse, the name's escaping me.
Sprint,
you know what I'm talking about.
I do know who you're
but
talking
ran a
about.
big race. So Indy Bound, I think again, Arojo with all this speed to the inside, Lasik going on. There's some positive. This horse could make the next step, sit back off of this pace, and make the run into it.
Okay, you also have the number 4 underneath, Roan Burgundy for Brittany Russell. Gets Kevin Gomez here today. The only thing I worry about this guy, I worry if this one is a need the lead type, and if he's going to be able to do that off the layoff.
I think he can rate. I think, you're going to have a dead scent from Charlestown. Landon Jack is going to have to go. I think he can rate fully. I think he's got natural speed. Lasix going on. You see the stat, 41% with a positive ROI for this move. First time Lasix for the barn. Freshened up, faced the right kind, post time. You see it. So I think this one's coming out the right fields. Given that kind of freshing, this horse can make a big jump with first Lasix off the break.
There we go. My thing for last weekend is that while we still have a little bit of moisture that we did from yesterday, I still think it's going to be a bit better than, it's definitely going to be a bit better than obviously a muddy track that last weekend had last time out. I think this is just the right type of good track leaning towards fast. So especially when we get later in the day, things might be brightening up. The track might get a little bit tighter. It's going to be plenty tight enough as it is, but might get back to that right type of track. Also didn't get a great break last time out, so I'm just giving him last weekend another chance.
I think he'll be in the clear out here doing some chasing and prompting, and he'll bring a better finish. I gotta think than what he did last time on that muddy sealed surface. It was just kind of dull, but out here today, he'll be forwardly placed, and he's shown to be pretty gritty when he gets into that battle.
Keith Fustel's value play of the day, 7, 4, 3, 6. They're in the 7th. Race number 8 is an allowance optional claiming 40, going 5.5 on the dirt for the 4-year-olds and up. Scratching the 2, Casanova Kitten, and scratching the 3, Chocolate Shake. And so that leaves you with your best bet of the day, with the number 4 going to the lead for Norman Cash and J. Ron Barbosa.
All right, Norman Cash, I'm going to depend on you. Going to lead, I just toss the last effort in a big field. You see it shuffled at the 5/8 in the red there, and it's going to just get in some trouble, and that's going to be it. I mean, you can't give away this much. Here we go, just checking, steadying out of there, and to this kind of field.
That was
at a 3 other than.
Yes.
Now we're dropping down a level to the 2 other than. Short field, not that much traffic. Yeah, he's coming back a little bit quick. We know the barn's capable of getting horses ready to do this. So HP Moon's the speed. Don't look at those internals and say, oh, man, they really weren't that fast. That track was a slow track. You're going to see a much quicker internals, I would think, today from HP Moon. He tries to go control it. I think going to lead can get position to stalk and pounce into this one.
Okay, there we go. Keith Fustel 4165. I go 6154 in that feature race. Race number 9 is a claiming 40,000 here in our nightcap, which have never won 2 for the girls, 4 years old and up, going the 1-turn mile here around Laurel Park. Scratching the 1, Rational Millennial. Keith, you have the number 2 on top, Blueberry Indigo for Benny Perkins. Now inherits the rail position, with Forest Boyce on top.
Yeah, a little shot here. Horse is one at the distance, 3rd off of a break. Went very quick last time, but was also battling with Mitt Mazel. Took back, made another move into those quick internals. I mean, that was a sluggish track that day, right? Varying even 40 on the race floor. 23.347 had every right to slow down. I think she's the speed of the speed. If Mitt Mazel wants to really kind of go with her, that could be at her peril. So let's see if Forest Boyce can nurse Blueberry Indigo on the front end in this nightcap at the mile distance. When this horse jumps up and runs, she runs big.
Right, and this is the type of speed mount that I do like to see Forrest on, so that when you said kind of getting up there and nursing her into that a little bit, she did that ride last week, I believe, on a horse that kind of was in a little bit of, not a precarious position, but protected herself on the rail and kind of wormed up in there a little bit. So this is a one that is need the lead type, but this, I like Forrest fitting on this type of need the lead speed. The number 3, Isabella's Glory, Jose Corrales, Jean Bursino. Did you have that stat that you were talking about earlier in your notes for this race?
I've got it written down somewhere. He's about 25-30% the last 30 days or so, and just rolling. But again, the horse is running well. The one thing that he hasn't been able to do a lot of is horses to win and then come back and win. That's the tricky part. So we've got a couple horses like that. The one I selected and this one I'm going to use. Lightbulb just looked like kind of went on. And she got it figured out last time. Had a little flow in front of her to finish up. Like I say, a barn that's going well. And I know she can bring a finish at this mile distance.
Absolutely. And with that, that's going to wrap up our chat about these races here today, this 9-race card. Let's go ahead into lightning round and talk about a couple of points. Like, Keith, your best bet of the day.
Best bet.
Yeah, take
All
it
right,
away.
going to the lead. HP Moon is going to be the one to catch, no doubt. He's shown a ton of ability, ton of talent. Put it together off the layoff. Going to try to back it up again today. But I
Sure.
think going to lead has just been seasoned. He's run against killers.
He has.
And HP Moon may be that tight. But I'll take the experience factor right here.
Sure.
See if he can kind of get a better position early without that traffic and move into the pace.
There we go. And your value play of the day is?
Yeah, Jose Corrales,
Yep.
Indy bound. Again, haven't been seen for a little bit, but cycling in the right direction. First time Lasix, I think with Arojo, we talked about. I like him on closing sprinters. This is what you're going to get here today. I know he was just prompting it last time, but there's just too much early speed, I think, inside of him. He'll have to take a rating hold and move into it.
Keith Fustel loving the closers today here as we wrap things up with his best bet and value play. Let's talk about more Renaissance Award winners that came out yesterday. These were all the winners that were announced yesterday. A female turf horse of the year, of course, is Spun Glass for Mike Trombetta and, of course, our Larry Johnson, who won the Owner of the Year award as well, won the Jamila and the Camptown over at Colonial and back here over at Laurel and then back at Colonial. Just has been so consistent overall with her turf outings as of late. She just ran at Tampa on the 18th of February in the Light in the City. Just a respectable run, but going to come back here and I think give us a really nice turfy season again. Let's take a look also at Cordmaker, who is the male dirt horse of the year, of course, for Rodney Jenkins and Hillwood Stable, of course. Robert Manfuso and Katie Voss breeding this one. Won the General George and the Jennings straight off, and then came back and was third in the Richard Small Stakes back in late November. The next category that we have, of course, is the winner of Luna Bell and the female dirt horse of the year. As I mentioned, she won the 3-year-old fillies Maryland breds in this past year, won the Maryland Juvenile back in 21, but they came back in 22 to win the Extra Heat, the Wide Country, the Beyond the Wire, and the Weber City Miss. She is now coming off of the layoff, and we look forward to seeing how she is going to be competing today. Let's also talk about English Tavern. This horse is it has broken my heart. Just has been a little bit unlucky, but just running so consistently back in both the Baltimore-Washington Turf Cup, it had a rough go in Colonial in the Buckland as well. Was knocked down in the Prince George County Stakes, 1 1/8 on the turf. Now is in training with Michelle Loveland, has been running down there at Fairgrounds. And then we are going to wrap up everything with, of course, Claimer of the Year, Eastern Bay. What a story behind him for his last win the General George, but has second in the Vosboro, second in the Bold Ruler, just been on a tear as of lately for Norman Cash.
Very good, very good. Yeah, the English Tavern down at the fairgrounds down in New Orleans, having a little gumbo, having a good old time down there from Jerry Romans. But yeah, Back in the Woods was the Corrales horse. Okay.
Okay.
And the stat. You ready?
Yes.
I found it. I know we were. Everybody was kind of waiting. He's like 17-18% the last 30 days.
Okay.
10 for 24 in the money, 323, but a really good ROI for Jose Corrales. We don't want to slight him in the least. He's rolling right along. He's doing a good job.
Let's see how this day wraps up, and we're going to head over to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches.
All right, good luck.